What's going on YouTube? Today we are going to be talking about exposing SLOG2 properly. Now from this camera, which I have right over here, you're going to be looking at the false color scale. And now Sony cameras don't necessarily have this built in, but I want to just bring this forth to you guys so that you can see what ungraded SLOG2 footage looks like, and as we bring in this grade, how you can see the difference that it makes. So what I like to do for my exposure, right? So I'm exposing, in this case, for most of what I think you guys watching this will be doing, are illuminating a human face. So I have a light over in that direction, and I have a light kind of just to block out the shadows behind me. But as you can see, from the false color, there is a gradient somewhat across my face. So you can see that on my shadow side, the values, according to this chart, are a little bit lower, but on the light side are a little bit higher. And what I think this achieves is just a really good place to be. Now for SLOG2, I feel like it's a little bit different. Definitely, generally, you would want your skin tones to be kind of in the 60s, 70s, but I like to bring it in SLOG2 specifically so that, as you can see here, this side of my face, as I'm looking at it right now, is definitely more on the green side, which is, you know, you definitely get that shadow and you get that contrast, but the light side of my face is in the light gray, which is kind of almost to that 70 IRE value, but I really feel as if that's the best place to be. So what I like to do is I like to bring in all of those things, and let's just, for the sake of example here, bring this exposure up and this ISO up. You can see I'm getting some yellows in my skin. Now on the histogram, that actually looks pretty good, but what I don't like is just the way that it makes skin look. So they say with SLOG2 to expose to the right, but you also have to keep in mind what your subject is. So there's a lot of things behind me, like this monitor that has Premiere up. You have this, you know, this is just interesting to look at on a side note because it's almost like a heat map essentially, but you have all of these different things that are dark, especially up in here. So your general histogram is going to represent that. I'm wearing a black t-shirt right now, so it's going to represent that. So you can see on the histogram, it's starting to look a little left, but my face is properly exposed. And for me and my face talking to you being the subject that I'm trying to illuminate within the context of this framing and this composition, this is where I like to be. I like to bring it to yellow because I think yellows start to where you get a little bit too much, and especially in other situations. There's been some client work that we've done where we filmed in front of like a whiteboard wall, and in those cases, the very brightest images would be in that yellow spectrum, getting into the orange spectrum. Very rarely will I hit red, but when I do, it's because the windows that would be behind me in that filming situation are going to definitely be the brightest thing. But if my subject is exposed properly, I can either move the subject and move the framing or move the composition so that I don't have those windows in the frame, or what I can do is I can kind of ignore it, right? If my subject's face is well lit, then the rest of the frame will really benefit because of it. So you have to just keep in mind, like, this is how I expose SLOG2 and how I use false color to do so. I have this ANDYCINE monitor, which a review of that is coming up shortly. I'll put it wherever it needs to be when that time comes. But just so you guys can get an example, like, obviously not everybody is going to have access to a monitor or a false color spectrum, but looking at this again ungraded, and then as we bring this grade in, you really start to see where things fall apart, where things look good, and truthfully just making sure that, yes, SLOG2, you want to be 2 stops overexposed and you want everything to be kind of to the right, but you also have to keep in mind what your subject is and what you're trying to illuminate. So using false color, which I think is actually very beneficial, and I'm not at all saying that you should just go dump money on a monitor, but just having you look at this ungraded SLOG2 footage and how it grades, I think you might be able to better understand just cognizance of, okay, what am I really focusing on lighting up here? What is around me? Can I change the composition? Can I change the framing? Can I change anything to really benefit the subject that I'm trying to light properly? So I have this scene lit. I have everything to how I like it for this scene, and obviously your situations will vary, as you can see from other example footage that I've shown in this video. So I really hope that this helps. Like I said, not everybody's going to have access to false colors, but you can use zebras. I like to have zebras in my Sony a7 III here set to 107 plus, and then I know that that's that red value. So either way, I can either even bring it down to 70s, I can switch it to 70, and then I can look at, okay, when is the face being illuminated? You can use the zebra feature as well. And if you want, I can make a whole video about that. Let me know in the comments below. But I hope this helps. Let me know what your thoughts are on this topic. And until next time, I'll see you on the internet.